My name is Bubs, I'm an artist, and I like to hear myself talk. And today, I'd like to hear myself talk about, well, this. Yeah, so I was kind of joking a few days ago when I said I was gonna make a VTuber, but after I watched a couple tutorials, it didn't seem that hard, and I thought, why not play around with it? So, I made some art, downloaded Live 2D, and started futzing. After all, I had cleared my schedule to just enjoy some time off to rest after the arduous task of my last upload. Plus, there was family returning from university. I figured I could just mess around between everything else, social stuff. And then I started to have fun. See, I like to jokingly call myself a very curious person, but it is true. I like learning new things and problem solving, and considering the latest time I actually learned something new, it was just finding out what keyframes were in CapCut, this turned out to be very stimulating. Which means I locked in over the course of 2 days, and I went from nothing to a rigged model. As you can see, it's not perfect by any means, but honestly, still pretty cool. Now, this video isn't really its debut. No, that wouldn't let me yap enough. Luckily for me, because I needed something to upload this week and didn't feel like finishing the thing I had prepped, I recorded the whole process of making this start to finish. I figured I'd do some informal commentary over time-lapses of my work, plus some lower audio quality interjections from myself in the moment for extra authenticity. Maybe you'll learn something, and if you are more experienced than I am, hopefully you can teach me some more things about this because I'm genuinely considering working on this further. And I have no idea what I'm doing, so yeah. Anyways, as usual, make sure you get settled in, get some water, get some snacks, anything you want to work on alongside me, and please allow me to yap about some nonsense to fill the void. Little flash warning for the whole thing. Hopefully it won't be too terribly bad, but there's a lot of places where I'm just moving things really fast, and there might be some kind of light flashing or blinking, so just take care of yourself. Anyway, I'm starting off with just making the actual art. One of the only things that I kind of knew before I went into this whole thing was that you needed to have a shit ton of layers for all of the different pieces of your stuff if you wanted them to move around correctly. So I also learned that for certain things, symmetry is really, really, really useful, especially for things like eyes and aspects of the face, because a lot of the things you do move symmetrically, whether or not you actually know you do. So having there be at least a lot of symmetry in the base is kind of important. That's one of the only things that I understood about the process before I was going into it. I also was told by a lot of tutorials that I saw that it's best to kind of do all of your shading in one layer, you fully render it. Yeah, so I drew cartoon boobs, and I don't know if YouTube will like that or not. I swear to God, I did not have fully rendered boobies down there, but it was enough where I was like, I don't know if YouTube will like that. Anyway, yeah, you'll just see the sense. It's fine. I swear to God, I didn't actually draw anything. I want this to be monetized, is the thing. So yeah, I was just kind of basing this whole thing off of my, my actual, my PNG kind of design. Just because I mean, if I end up using this for the channel, then might as well have it be the same design. Yeah. I also, you'll see, I think we're at a point where a lot of the things that you're seeing now are actually me coming in after the fact and adding new parts. This is second or third passes. I figured out that I wanted to play around with different eye shines. I never ended up using them. I added a bottom lid, I changed how the eyes looked completely, I completely changed the mouth multiple times. I completely changed the eyes and how those looked. I kept coming back to it the more that I learned and the more that I figured out that the things that I was doing was not working for me. So yeah, I had to like completely redo the mouth multiple times because the ways that I was doing it wasn't working like at all. The art was naturally like the easiest part for me to figure out because I already know how to draw my persona. But I'm finishing up here, and now we're just gonna move straight into the first day and first moments of me actually using the live 2D Cubism studio thingy.
Okay, I'm gonna record. Oh, no, okay. Start as free version. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. I watched like one tutorial. Oh, jeez. Release notes. Okay. I did full scale. Let's do that. I want to do it full scale. Oh. Was it recommend? Uh-oh. I also just read. Oh, there's me. It's me. Okay, cool. So far, so good. Oh. Okay, I've watched exactly like. I've like watched one tutorial, so I don't know how this is gonna go. This is gonna be an adventure. Am I recording? Yes, I am. Okay, cool. So this is me. What is this line? Oh, okay, that's not how I thought that for a sec. That was okay. Okay. Oh, this is weird. Okay, you know what? Let's focus on trying to get our eyes to blink. I think that should be a good first step.
Here I am just trying to get used to the layout and just try to see if I can figure out how to make myself blink. It does not work because I'm doing it wrong.
Well, I can't get. Ooh.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun throughout this entire recording, just flipping the toggle back and forth.
I think that I'm supposed to have like two different eyes if I'm.
Yeah, I never finished that thought, but I was correct in that I do need two different eyes to make it work better. I tried to do it in the program for a second, but then I gave up and I just did it in Clip Studio. I still don't know if there's a way to do it like in the actual program, but eh.
Okay, see, this looks like it's closer to how that lady did it, so. Yeah.
For the record, that lady was Chupuko on YouTube. I watched a lot of tutorials from her when I was trying to figure out all this stuff, so shout out to Chupuko. I don't think that this would have even been kind of successful without you.
But you know what, we're learning. We're learning, and learning takes time and effort. This looks really bad. Is there a way to like... Dog, I swear to the Lord above. Okay, that looks really bad. Oh, I did. Okay. I don't know if that looks good, but so that's. Oh my god. Okay. No, okay, I don't know if that's good, but like, I can, yeah. That's fucking. working.
I didn't like the shape, so here's me trying to fix that and see if it will move a little bit more naturally for me.
Randomize parameters. Oh. 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 This is so weird. Oh. I feel like I did that wrong somehow. Because I don't think that's supposed to happen.
I did do something wrong. I was supposed to reflect the parameters, which I will talk about in a bit, but I'm figuring that out.
Okay, I'm getting closer to something, right? Like I'm getting, we're
Yeah, I hope you're getting the sense that I have a lot of trouble just finishing sentences sometimes. But anyway, so explaining a little bit about that whole like reflecting parameters thing, that is something that it's basically the entire reason that the symmetry thing is so useful and why it's so recommended for things like the face. It's so that you can literally flip around like shapes as well as animations to make them work for like the different sides of your face, for example. So you can basically set up all of the keyframes on like one parameter and then reflect that and change all the values and flip them so that they will work the same way on the other side of your face. I am now trying to add in keyframes for my eyebrow and making the whole meshing process a little bit more complicated than it needs to. I was still, like, slapping warp deformers on everything and then not actually using the warp deformers because I did not know what they were for, and so that was definitely an adventure that I was going on. You can see me flipping the toggles back and forth and just having a blast. Not the toggles, just the parameters. Ooh, look at that! Look at that face movement.
I look high. Okay. This is like working though. I'm doing it. Okay. How do I just add physics to my hair? Hair move front.
Yeah, physics was not something that I should have been worried about at this time because I barely knew what I was doing. Luckily, I didn't bother with the physics and I actually just went straight into trying to finish like making my eyes move around. While it is not necessarily all, I also was trying to mess with the mouth, but that was also a mistake because it's a lot of moving parts for the mouth and it's very complicated actually. So I really shouldn't have been bothering with that yet, but I mean, I did very quickly learn that the pieces that I had for my mouth sucked, and I needed to fix them. So I guess if you think about it, it was useful that I started messing with it right away. There we go. I'm learning about how to correctly move the eyes around. I don't think that without the tutorials from Chupuko, I would have been able to like figure that out like nearly as fast as I actually did. But you know, I'm still glad that I actually figured it out at all, because there was at least a 50% chance that this entire thing was never actually going to become anything, because I would have just gotten frustrated and given up. But I actually found it kind of intuitive in a lot of ways. There were definitely things that I needed the tutorial for, absolutely, but yeah, a lot of things I feel like you could trial and error, you know?
Okay, so is there... I would presume, right, that I was supposed to stop 25 minutes ago, and yet here I am. Okay, but I would assume... Yes, okay. So many awesome parts. Yeah, but I would imagine I can, like, have it where there's a, it'll get more opaque. Oh, that's how I can add so many little tiny details like that. Dude, I'm so excited. I feel like I didn't need the warp deformer thing, but I feel like if I delete it now, it'll like fuck it up.
Seriously, don't use warp deformers if you don't need them. Please don't be like me. Please.
Okay. Well, thank you for sticking with me so far. Ooh, save. Okay. Alright, so maybe I'll keep trying maybe tomorrow, I don't know. It's actually been 2 days since I last, recorded. I did futz with it a little bit yesterday, actually. And I'll show you some of the things that I did in but a moment. I wanted to fix some things about the mouth, and so while I'm doing that, I will, just as a heads up, there appears to be, like, tornadoes threatening me right now. Like, there's a storm outside, and, I have a really hard time talking in. This is why people have asked if I will ever do, like, video gameplay, and I'm like, dude, I genuinely cannot, like, talk and do something at the same time. It just doesn't happen for me. It's not a thing. So I'm gonna try to get the mouth good today. Theoretically, I will be able to before I am struck by lightning or murdered by a tornado. But we'll see. Why am I making this so much harder than it needs to be? Fuck. Shit. Alright, well, I'm back. Okay, yeah, so I totally had to go downstairs, but it's okay. Oh, cute, I get a little double chin. Oh, that's the tongue. Oh, yeah, because it doesn't all clip. Yeah, right. Oh, first, I just want to show you something. Okay, so I was tweaking. I did, like, change how the eyes worked a little bit. Like, I have that bottom lid. I'm gonna change the irises a little bit in a second. That's my plan. However, one thing that I did that I was really proud of figuring it out. I have a little head tilt. I don't know how much I actually want the thing to move. First of all, because that takes a lot of different, like, little parameters and everything. To, like, have all that move around. It takes a lot of different parameters, and I'm using the free version, because I don't know if I'm actually going to, like, you know, use this. And I don't want to, like, pay for the pro version if I don't even know for sure how much I'm going to use this. However, I do like that I can move my little head around, and there's a little, I made the hair move a little bit, according to how I tilt my head. Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Look at that. Look at that. Look at her go.
So my goals for this day were really just to try and figure out the mouth, as well as kind of tweak the eyes. I didn't really like the kind of lack of depth that I was getting from the original irises that I made. They looked fine, but I kind of wanted to do some more with the eye shines and the spirals, so having those on different, like, layers was something that I wanted to accomplish, and it was part of the art tweaking that I did. I also, like, really redid the mouth, because I didn't like the neutral expression looking a little bit sad. I had some difficulties with both, and I flip-flopped between working with them, because I find that, if I try to, like, laser focus on only one thing and I get kind of stuck on that thing, it's easier for me to kind of take a break from that and work on the other thing. So part of my workflow is often working on multiple things kind of concurrently and having two different goals, because at the end of the day, I will probably at least achieve half of what I wanted, and in the process I'll prevent myself from getting, like, super duper frustrated because I'm just banging my head against a wall. So yeah, you can see a lot of that here. I would, if I were you and I wanted to do a head tilt, I would definitely do it with the rotation deformers, because that way you can kind of just copy and paste it onto all of the different, like, layers that you want to move. I was able to do that super easy, rather than trying to do everything, like, manually. So this is definitely one of those areas where, like, the deformers are more useful over individually moving around all of the pieces, because that way it will move smoothly without you having to, you know, line it up by yourself a bajillion different times, and it'll probably not look good, because that's what I did at first, before I figured out what the rotation deformer did. So yeah, don't do that. For the record, this is not the final mouth design. One of the things that I was really running into this day was that my cheek blushes kept warping in weird ways and weren't lining up. I will fix it, I think, in the last time that I work on this, because I use a clipping mask, which I don't know why I didn't do that from the start. It's fine. I figured it out eventually. Yeah, so this mouth is definitely not final, but it was good to kind of get to work on it and get a feel for how it actually moves and how it functions. I got very lucky with the mouth forming, though, because I didn't actually know that one end should be an O, and the middle should be an A, and the other end should be an E kind of shape. I just guessed that, so... And I don't even know if that's actually how it's supposed to go, I'll be super honest. But it worked for me, and it didn't explode everything, so... Success, I think. Yeah, here I'm actually getting brave and trying to use the physics, but I had no idea what I was doing. One of the problems that I was running into was that I kept not understanding, like, that for it to work, you had to have one parameter as an input and a different parameter as an output. I kept trying to basically have the head tilt be the input and also the output, but that doesn't really make any sense, because the way that the physics works, in my very rudimentary understanding, is that one thing affects a different thing, which I know sounds kind of obvious, but in my brain I was like, well, I want the head tilt to be the reason that, like, the hair jiggles back and forth, and because I had initially set all of that up to be on the same parameter, I was, like, not understanding that it had to be different. So definitely, if you're wanting to have jiggle physics, and I mean of any kind of jiggle physics, you need to have one parameter that will basically trigger it, and then a separate parameter that will actually make the movement. And I find in a lot of situations, if it's more of a jiggle or a wobble, having it at both extreme options on either end, and then the middle is just the default position that it will have. That whole thing worked out best for me. So that's what I did for all of my hair movement and everything like that, once I figure it out, obviously, but yeah. I am about to encounter a very unique problem that comes with wanting to have eye details be on different layers, so you'll see what I'm talking about in a second, but I will also try to explain to the best of my ability how to actually fix it, because it is not a no-brainer like some of these things. It's not. I would never have figured this out on my own without watching tutorials. I definitely admire that it seems like in general people in the VTube community and VTubing space are not up for gatekeeping. Like, I feel like the art community in general is pretty good about, like, not gatekeeping things, but for some reason, you know, there are spaces on the internet that, like, don't want to help you learn their skill for some reason, and I think that that's so stupid. So it's really important, I think, not only just because I try to, I don't know, educate, let people in on tricks and tips and things that I've learned over the years, but it's always just good when I see other people try to do that too, and they're not trying to, like, hoard knowledge. No one should ever hoard knowledge as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I don't really know. Ah, there we go. Oh, but see, this is not. That's not quite right. Also, that doesn't work anyway, because it still goes off, even though you can't see it on. I don't,
Yeah, so as you saw, my iris would clip to the eye white, but when I moved my eye to the side, all of the details on my iris, like the spiral and the eye shines, would move off of the bounds of the eye white if there was part of the iris that was hidden because of the clipping mask. And I thought initially that maybe I could just have everything clipped to the eye white and it would work, but then it wasn't properly clipping to the iris, and so I struggled a lot. Luckily, I needed to finish fixing some of the dangly bits on my earrings anyway, so I was able to kind of take a break from the eyes to work on that first. That actually, once I was doing that once I already kind of figured out the physics a little bit, so that part was pretty easy. A lot of stuff, actually, in my experience, became pretty easy once I actually figured out what everything did. Again, aside from this whole eye thing, a lot of it does feel pretty intuitive and like you can trial and error your way through it.
What? Why? What? What? Why is... What? Why is that how that works? Why is that how that works? What do you mean? What do you mean? Well, okay, I fucking did it. So that works now. Okay, so now theoretically I can do my silly goofy stuff.
Okay, so you just saw my baffled, my bafflement when I finally actually got it to work. So basically, what the way that you want to do that, I believe that the people I heard talking about it called it like reverse clipping or double clipping or something like that. And basically, what you want to do is you're going to kind of put your eye layers together a little bit backwards. So whatever is going to be the back of your eye, like the sclera part, should go on top of everything else. And then you will have your, like, any eye shines or shadows or, you know, pupil details or whatever you want, like, on top of your iris as they would normally appear. Just, again, under that what should be your bottom layer, that's going to be your top layer. So then you'll have your, in my case, it was my eye shine and my spiral, but any of your iris details clipped to the iris. Or, no, sorry, you want to have it clipped to the eye white. And then you do that for everything. And then for the eye white itself, you want to clip that to the iris. And that it will look really, really weird initially, but once you do that, you will take there's gonna be like a little tick box under the where you can clip it, like under where it says clipping ID, there's a little tick box that says invert mask, and you want to press that. So basically, for some strange reason, it'll appear as you actually want. I don't quite get how it works, but it does work, and it worked for me. And if you are somebody that wants to also try to do this and you're trying to learn from me for whatever strange reason, which you probably shouldn't, you should go to the resources that I'm going to put in the description that I used. But that thing was like a game changer for me to figure out, and I never would have figured it out on my own. So I would not have figured this out without tutorials. I will put links to the ones that I ended up using in the description once I find them again. But yeah, for sure, this was not something that I even needed to do. You can make a beautiful model that has all of the stuff on one layer, like I was doing initially. I just wanted to open up the opportunity for me to do things like have the spirals spin around all the time, or have the eye shines move a little bit differently, according to, you know, eye position and everything. And it just made my eyes a lot more dynamic and have a lot more depth, but it's definitely not necessary. So if you don't want to go through that nonsense because it's complicated and weird, and it caused problems for me later down the line too, but that's how you do it. I figured that out, so maybe that will help you, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this process overall, I had a lot of fun messing around with this stuff. I didn't expect it to be this good, and I'm not even somebody that like consumes a lot of VTuber content, because I actually tend not to really like VTuber content not that much. It's nothing against anybody that's actually doing it. It's just that I don't typically like the style that a lot of the biggest VTubers are going for. It's literally just a personal preference thing. My older sibling likes a lot of the people in the VTuber space, and have introduced me to some content that I actually quite enjoy. But yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily in that space, so I was not expecting this to be as fun as it was, but yeah. I've tried a lot of new things with like programs and everything that seemed intimidating, but this one also seemed intimidating but wasn't actually when I got to work on it. So you know what, maybe this is a growth opportunity for me as a person, and I can go back to those other intimidating project ideas and try again, because you know, this seemed scary and it turned out to not be so scary, so maybe those other things won't be so scary either. I feel like at this point I am just trying to talk myself into starting some things that I will absolutely never have the motivation to finish. I could at least get back into music, you know, and messing around with that. I think that's something that would give me happiness and joy, probably. I feel like a lot of my commentary here has just been like, follow your dreams, kids, but like, I guess it is true. I think that a lot of times we, as human beings, are kind of afraid to try new things because we're worried that it's not going to turn out. But you know, it's probably going to be fine. And this was all free to do. I mean, the only thing that I spent here was time and energy. So, but I had fun testing out this stuff anyway. So, even if the VTuber at the end of the day turned out like complete ass, I still would have had fun. So, you know, who's the real winner? It's me. It's always me. I am always the winner. I'm going to just let past me take you through the lovely journey of me figuring out how to actually like get my camera set up in VTube Studio. So, cheers. Cheers? I've never said that before in my life. What am I doing?
Okay. Okay. Auto setup. Okay. Wait, I'm breathing now? That's exciting! Auto blinking. Well, that's for my brows. Auto blink. Okay. What? Why is it doing that? Why would it do that? Okay, can I like reset config? And it crashed. Okay, cool. Mic off. It's not off. Microphone. Oh, okay, that's my microphone. And it's also not off, but la 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 da 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 da. It's literally not off. It's not off. It is not off. Fire, you know. It's definitely on. I don't. How do I make it, hotkey, webcam, choose camera. Yeah. Yeah, just select all that stuff, yeah. I don't know how it's if it's looking at me. Auto start. Camera on. Oh, okay. Okay. Ah! Ew! Well, hold on. Here. Wow. Oh my god. It's kind of working. Wow. Okay, this is kind of working. Like a little. I don't know what the calibrate is. I don't know why it only wants me to blink. Maybe it's something off about the actual thing. Okay, so brown height left, brown height right. I open left. How do I make another thing? Aha! I open right. Output. Eyeball. I open. There we go. There we go. Now I can blink. Okay. Head tilt. Face angle X. So like, yeah, side to side, side to side. Head tilt. Boom. Okay. Yeah. 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 Ba 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 ba. I like this little. Who's the little creature down there? I want to know about the creature. I'm kind of impressed that this is working at all, because I didn't know what I was doing. 8 and then 8. Yeah, look, I move a little more dynamically. Yeah. Smile input. I'll smile. And then output smile. Yay! It does work! That's so fun. Oh my gosh, this is really cool. I mean, it's silly, like how like, okay, it's super jank, and I don't know that I would be using this to, like, you know, actually, like, record a video, because see, that's the thing. I want, if I can get it to a point where it's, like, you know, good enough where I feel, like, comfortable trying to record something with it, but I'm not really there yet, is the thing, because, like, first of all, I would want it to be like a little bit more dynamic, especially in like the mouth region. I yap so much, so I want it to be like accurate, but also I don't know what I'm trying to say. All things considered, this is, like, surprisingly good. Like, surprisingly... Considering the fact that I had genuinely no knowledge of anything that this had to do with, I'm kind of impressed that I got this much.
Alrighty. That's all I've got for now. What a journey this was. Moral of the story, if you want to try a new skill or hobby, just go for it. The worst that can happen is that you'll make mistakes, but you can learn from those. It might not turn out perfect. This is absolutely not perfect by any means, as you can see. But the joy of figuring out is something you cannot get artificially, if you ask me. Another moral of the story, if there's an active tornado watch in your local area, don't start to record a video. It's a stupid idea. Don't leave just yet, though, please. This is a video where I definitely want opinions in the comments. As I said at the start, I'd love to hear any tips or tricks that might help solve issues I was having, even if that means just telling me I did something horribly wrong, and that's why I'm having trouble. As I said, I just started learning how to use this stuff a few days ago, so there's definitely plenty left for me to learn. More importantly, though, I really want to hear whether you guys would prefer VTuber bubs over PNG bubs in the future. Now, VTuber bubs would not be ready for a while, as there is a lot of cleaning up to do, a lot of work in terms of familiarizing myself with VTuber Studio, and I would like to figure out things like toggles. My PNGs are very dynamic with expressions, arm and hand positions, and little cartoony flares that are important to my brand, I guess. Is it a brand? Still, the PNGs honestly account for a hefty majority of my editing time since I do them manually, and eventually retiring them in exchange for something that I can just record at the same time as my voiceovers would honestly be really convenient. Plus, I have a lot more options for relatively easy customization that I would just not be able to do as easily with individual edits of over 70 PNGs. Again, let's be realistic, you will not be seeing the return of VTuber Bubs for a while, but please let me know if you want to see the return of VTuber Bubs ever. Okay, thank you for your time. First and foremost, thank you so much to my channel members for your continued support. Your support helps me keep doing what I'm doing here, which is awesome, so thank you so much. If you watching would also like to see your name at the end of my videos, along with other perks like extra behind-the-scenes posts and exclusive emojis, and you just so happen to have a disposable $1.99 USD a month laying around, maybe consider becoming a channel member yourself. I'd sure appreciate it. Thank you again to all the amazing creators whose tutorials made this weird little side quest I went on possible. I will have links to all of them in the description because I can confirm their efficacy as free, high-quality, beginner-friendly resources, and that shit deserves praise. Finally, thank you to you, yes you, for watching. Especially if this was as a first-time viewer. This was a really weird side quest for me to go on, and I just hope it was as fun for you as it was for me. Okie dokie, I'll let you go. Until next time, drink water, try to get a little exercise if you're up for it, and most importantly, remember that you matter. Bye. Oh, jeez, I really need to stop joking about this stuff. Now I really am gonna learn code. Oh, no. No. I guess that qualifies as a joke, though. Fuck! I think it's too dark in my room.